Hello everyone and welcome to Ludo History. I'm Adam. As always, I am a medieval historian, and today we are playing Unto the End, a lovely game that came out today. I know probably everyone else in the world is playing Cyberpunk, but we're going to be playing this game instead. This is made by Two Ton Studios, a two-person team, and it just came out today. So if you see this and enjoy it, make sure you go buy this game, give them some love. And they happen to be, at least one of them is in chat right now. So, if you have any questions, make sure to throw them in chat. So the first thing that stands out to me from a historian's perspective is kind of the whole idea here of being this very fur-covered, snow-covered, early winter, late fall kind of aesthetic. Seems like it is very deliberately kind of evoking a Scandinavian aesthetic, which is quite common in dark fantasy, especially kind of going on recently. And if I'm understanding this right, there's basically no dialogue. Oh, designed to be played with a controller. We should probably plug in one of those then. Okay, so I expect to die a lot because this game is very kind of, as it says, very deliberate. It seems like it's taking some inspiration from Dark Souls. Oh, Two-Ton, I do not like it. I totally agree. Like, it's totally fictional, but of course, fictional games come from somewhere, and that's one of my core ethoses of kind of what games I play, is that it is not supposed to be a critique, but, like, fantasy tropes come from somewhere, and it's cool to talk about why and where they come from, and see how they're constantly getting reinterpreted. Especially this, like, Middle Ages, very typically, like, Scandinavian Viking Age aesthetic is super interesting in all how flexible it is. Like, I mean, just last month we had a game that's deliberately historical, but already this is communicating something equally real, but very different about the Viking Age, and kind of a different aspect of Scandinavian pop cultural ideas than, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla did. And one thing I super love, with the idea of, if I'm understanding kind of this game right, oh, wrong button, is that, like, there's basically no dialogue, and so one thing I want to talk about is kind of the act of translation and the role of interpreters kind of in the Middle Ages, and our lack of evidence for them, even though it's really weird, and there's so much that needs to happen. Oh, there we go. Supplies, bottle. Cool. So I definitely want to talk about that as we kind of run into other people, because it's weird that we aren't seeing them, but it's also really, really kind of cool. Okay, so we can light a torch here. Oh, does this burn? There we go. Ooh. So already I'm kind of loving just, like, this cave, and bones? Oh, no, just a pit to fall through. No, I actually want to go down. Please let me go down. So we pick up everything. This is actually super cool. What? I know. Oh, I can pick up other things. Okay. So one thing I'm loving about just this already from a kind of just play perspective is the fact that we are in this kind of cave system, super dark, but that, you know, we're having to pay attention, and that we're not being, it doesn't feel like we're being punished for, like, falling down too far, but that we are kind of just having to take it slow and kind of focus on survival. Oh. You know, not run into traps like that one. So Kind of reminds me, there's in one of the sagas, Icelandic sagas from the 13th century, one of the instances of a troll that shows up is out of Lord and his servant kind of get stuck in a cave in a storm, which is just kind of part of life, a little bit. And then in that, they deeper in the cave, they find something with very many eyes that otherwise isn't talking. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of is there. And so the Lord's response is to just, stay calm, don't feel fear. God will see us through this, because the sagas at this point are all very much Christian. And so the slave, or it is a slave, I won't kid anyone, the enslaved person there, instead kind of freaks out and tries to, nope, that's right where I came from, freaks out and tries to kind of run away, and he eventually actually dies of fright, kind of as a consequence of this. And it's getting kind of that claustrophobia, but also the idea of kind of, you just pay attention and communicate and talk to your, and you'll end up being okay. Anyway, sparring practice. This is good. Being able to kind of practice this, get some tutorial, seems good. Oh, well, it looks suspiciously like our wife is way better at this than we are. Hello. No? Are we not going to do anything? Attack low. Attack high. Okay. Cool. Very much. Okay. Cool. Meanwhile, I'm just kind of looking at the back of the house here. It's, again, looking like a very kind of... Oh. Okay, must be retrieved after each use. Yes, please pick up. There we go. Okay, now let's get absolutely wrecked. Okay, blocking high. And blocking high. Still blocking high. Blocking low. So, this fight naturally kind of, suggests... Oh, and we can roll that. And we roll again. Awesome. Okay. If they attack high, counterattack low. Interesting. Cool. Extremely cool. And then we can fake. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of depth to this. Holy crap. Oh good, the boss finally caught up. So left trigger and Y. Okay. Wow. And then... That's just two highs. Low. Low, count. And then... Block attack chains. Okay, again, kind of the same deal. One. Oh. Uh-huh. Wow, okay. Well, Mom is still wrecking us. That's awkward. Oh well, I expect we'll die a lot. Anyway, I kind of like this combat system is, very much seems to me, yeah, very much inspired by kind of Punch-Out and those kinds of games of being very, very careful, and very much focused on waiting for the right moment to attack. But also, I'll be curious to see how much it favors aggression. Because a lot of the kind of medieval or early modern treatises for duels indicate that we're kind of looking for... You look for openings and then you attack the moment you see them. Oh good, no wounds to heal. I don't know what you want. Are you just saying they stop by the fire? You may be saying just stop by the fire. Nope, there we go, torch. Okay, we can set down... Let's set down a few herbs there. See if they have... See if that helps him, because he seems to be quite badly injured. Thank you. Anyway. Cool, we got a key for our troubles. The other thing that kind of stood out to that, again, within the Scandinavian aesthetic is, of course, the fantasy trope that, of course, the women are as much, if not slightly better fighters than the men, even though the men are the ones who still go out and do all the hunting and stuff, which is very much not a bad thing in kind of modern literature. I think is still an interesting kind of dichotomy, because obviously historically we talked about this on the last stream with AC Valhalla, the female warriors, if is still, despite the Birka burial that appears to be a biologically female person buried with elite warrior type grave goods, it still is not entirely transparent that they are common. Yes, we're going to get to the generic aesthetics of our main character in a moment here, but definitely yes, he is extremely, extremely Viking. Okay, so, oh, hang on, there's a shiny here. Thank you, knife. Is that not supposed to... Am I not supposed to be able to... Yeah. I got the key. Use. There we go. Anyway, female warriors probably were not common, even if they did exist, but in fantasy, I think that's not a problem. Like, there's no real reason to be stuck up about the presence or absence of my historical accuracy by letting women exist in the game. Yes, thank you. I saw it was there, and I tried to not do that. Well, what are my options here if I cannot... Can I jump over it? Nope. Nope, no I cannot. What if I cut the rope instead? I can fall off the cliff and die horribly. Well, that's fun. Anyway. The kind of interesting, I guess, counterpoint to that I'm still always trying to kind of sort out here is the extent to which... nope, that didn't work. Maybe I can throw the dagger instead. Let's take a look at some other options here to break this thing. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. We'll figure this out eventually. Lots of rips here. We knew this was going to happen. It's fine. But in the meantime, the kind of consequence that I am still trying to work through here. Oh, that does not work. Okay, it just automatically resets. I thought I'd have an opening, and then I did not have an opening. Okay, well. Ow. I just bonked into my face. Not really sure what to do here. There's such a lag after jumps. So, I'm gonna try something different and go a different direction, instead of keep running face first into the puzzle. So we're gonna see what else there is available. But anyway, I'm still trying to figure out what kind of the consequence is by having women be fighters, but also kind of domestic fighters. That's a very common trope in fantasy, where your shield maiden, I mean, even going all the way back to Tolkien and Eowyn, is simultaneously a warrior, and a highly skilled one at that, but also the place is at home, doing fighting and home-like things. It is super odd, super interesting, and I don't really know what to make of that, because a little bit it suggests to me a kind of problem where largely the genre struggles with the idea of representing, the idea of, the way to have diversity is by doing male things, instead of actually doing something different. So, like, the women are men, the children are men, the men are men, instead of having, any sort of meaningful difference of styles, or tasks, actions, that you can have be diverse in. So you can have everyone doing domestic work, weaving, and kind of that sort of work, without... Yeah, without, making everything kind of combat related and all warriors. What? Oh, I bonked into the thing again. Not sure what to do here, to be honest. Yeah, so that's something I'm still kind of wrestling with, gender roles in fantasy and the way they relate to historical reality. Always seems so shallow, which is not necessarily bad, but it would be interesting to see kind of if the genre complicates itself and its ideas of, what can we actually do with gender roles, and what makes someone strong, apart from making them into either a warrior or a shield maiden. Especially in the context of the Vikings, which, this is the most... We have an almost immediate kind of image of Viking Scandinavia out of here having a guy with a red beard and a fur cloak and a sword. Even though, the unkempt red is very much a minority style in the Middle Ages. I won't say it's impossible or never, but it definitely is in the minority, just because most people were dark-haired. Okay, so that's broken. That makes sense, that this thing... The way to deal with this is to just kind of... I don't know, cut the rock, and then the problem solves itself, but I don't know how to actually get around to the rock to get there. Continues to be confusing. But anyway. So, red hair, while beards were common and in fact kind of expected, red hair is certainly not common. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna go get my sword, because it appears to have physics dropped itself. Oh, I am now injured. I suppose I should heal. I am without a doubt injured now. Okay, we will have to sit down and then grab the sword on the way out. Because apparently I tripped, and that's bad. Yep, unlucky. Unlucky in the extreme. Oh. I totally bled out. No, I'm just rough. Exactly. Dark hair, brown. Brown hair is the most common type according to recent genetic studies. So, red hair is extremely rare, despite the kind of cultural dominance it has in the image of the Vikings. So if I don't bleed out, I think I bled out. Well, unfortunate. Do I have my sword again? I do have my sword again, I think. Let's maybe confirm that. Yes, we have sword. Well, that's one way to do it. Just die again. I warned you I was going to be dying a lot in this game. But yeah, the fur pelts are not... Well, they're definitely not an impossible thing. They are definitely not a common thing either. Far more common is linen and wool cloaks, with maybe animal fur being used to line them, rather than it being the main material of the cloak. And of course, as we've talked about on other streams, the Vikings have extremely kind of bright clothing. They liked... The more garish it is, the happier they were. So... Not really sure what to do here, to be honest. Oh. Well, that was weird. Why is it suddenly letting me do that? Why is it letting me walk across now when it didn't any other time? What the heck, my guy? Well, that was weird. Oh, crap. There's no way I'm alive. Hello? No, I triggered the trap all the other times too. Like, that's not... I didn't do anything different. I don't have rope. Don't have that. We can look at our wife's hair. Perfect. So... Maybe just... Oh, didn't want to throw that. That's okay. There we go. Just missed the jump the first time. Dunno. Is weird. Not a big deal. Let's keep going. Hopefully we'll find another dagger before long, otherwise we'll just be bad. And just kind of have to roll with combat as it comes across. Like that. What did we get out of that? Leather. Okay. We'll assume... Wow, we didn't trip and fall on our face this time. Huzzah. While I am a little bit salty about the tripping and falling on my face and losing stuff for no super obvious reason, I also don't hate it, as ultimately kind of, I don't know, for lack of the initial kind of understanding of how I would... Oh. Neat. I knew that was there, and I was gonna disable it, and then it just triggered for somehow. Okay. That's reasonable. Oh, crap. Pick up the things. Pick up the other things. Let's try that again. Is that not breakable? That's apparently not breakable. Okay. So that's not breakable. This goes nowhere. Up we go. Anyway, so yeah, this guy is like... This Viking guy is ultimately, like, has very little resemblance to a historical Viking, but that's okay. Because ultimately, like, what the... Ha! Get dunked on. Ultimately, one thing, Oh, problem. Yes, this game does seem to like, at least in these early stages, it does seem to like aggression. Anyway, let's light this fire, so that we can make a tonic. Oh, we need 3 supplies. That's a problem. Heal wounds. We just stitched our wounds together. Okay, that is a very kind of interesting way of doing that, 'cause the idea of sewing things together is, of course, extremely old, including using some primitive form of stitches. That's not itself really at all weird or a problem. And I think it was even, but it is definitely a kind of risky way of doing that, I would say, compared to, you know, just using poultices or herbal medicine. Because, of course, in the Middle Ages, and even in the fancy Middle Ages, there's a lot of medical knowledge. That's not at all suspicious. Ow. So, that looks like it's just death. We're not gonna jump in just plain old-fashioned death. I don't know what we've actually got here that we can reach. But I do want more sticks, because I'm sure that helps me get more torches. So, sticks and herbs. Perfect. But I also don't know where else I can go, so... Let's take a look around here. See what we can do that is not just leaping face first into a pit. We've already done that quite a bit. But anyway, so despite me immediately kind of saying, like, this guy and his family are not super historical, it's also, that's not really framed as a criticism, because ultimately what it's trying to communicate to me, and it uses the Viking aesthetic very well, is an idea of a harsh, ultimately quite simple, but life on the fringes of survivable, but one that has a lot of kind of love and affection and humanness to it despite that. And it it makes sense to make your the fantasy ultimately one kind of the Vikings. Yeah. Well, that was just death. Okay. Well, let's try that again, but this time with a little bit less, you know, horrible death. Can we go farther that way? We cannot. I don't think. Oh, we can. We can go farther this way. What is in here? There is a tomb. There is a sepulcher here. Someone is laid in rest. Well, that's good environmental storytelling, actually. That ultimately, like, that is... Oh, we can actually improve those already. Huzzah. More armor. Need more supplies for that. Okay. We should probably light a torch. Light. Ta-da. So I'm not sure where we're supposed to go, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. There seems to be a lot of kind of being unsure, which I think is another thing actually that using the kind of Norse aesthetic to this really kind of helps out with a lot more than it hurts. So ultimately we've got like this difficult word or difficult sort of survival on the fringes, but then also, you know, a sense of needing to explore. Okay, but no, that is truly just death. Huzzah, we have now done our due diligence. We died again, a lot. There's nothing over there we need, so... Let's just take a look at the kind of... going up here and seeing where else we can go. Indeed, we did seem to do a grave robbery. One meditation bead later. So this kind of lying in state ultimately actually reminds me of something, of the kind of breaking of a mound in a Norse or of a pre-Norse burial. oftentimes, like, burial mounds would be theoretically of great Vikings, but also of, sort of, could be linked to, like, Bronze Age burial mounds, which are far more common and achieve a lot of symbolic kind of currency in the Middle Ages. Oh, there's an elevator. That works. Indeed. Hello, Dark Souls. You are elevator. Screw your skull totems, too. Anyway, so first things first, exploration, second things second, doing the whole, sort of breaking of the two. So, the exploration, like, obviously the Vikings went all over the dang place. Like, absolutely everywhere. So it is... Sorry, I don't... Can I put away my sword? Can I put away my sword? How do I put away swords? I would like to not have it out. But we need to put something here. So what are we gonna put here? Let's offer sticks, because they seem to like sticks. Yeah, I just offered stick. I just offered the stick. Nope, not that one. Okay. I can offer an herb. I'll just pick up this and kind of keep going. Nope, that's an attack. Ow. Dang it. Wow, I just got comboed. I just got absolutely wrecked in the act of trying to stand up. Don't grave rob, kids. It's bad for your health. That's okay. We go again. I appreciate that this game is really hard, but also has a really generous checkpoint system. Like... What? I would like to offer you a stick. I do not know how to... I know you want me to drop my sword, but I don't know actually how to do that. Press right stick. Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you! Now, I need to keep going. Don't I? What? Where am I? I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I know. I don't want to... I don't... No. Sorry. Oh, crap. Thank you. Yes, quite. This is my fault for not obeying directions. I don't know where... I guess I can turn around and, like, since I dropped down, maybe I can turn around and just leave? No? Maybe? I don't know. I just know I am very bad at this, whole not... What? Where am I supposed to go? I don't know. Well, we shall instead offer an herb. But yeah, when we grabbed the meditation bead, from... Oh, cool, you give me something different this time. Thank you. Anyway. It gives me something, the act of kind of going into the grave, by the fire. like we did, reminds me a lot of kind of the act of the breaking of the mound in the sagas, where your saga hero basically goes in, and takes its, breaks into a burial mound, usually fights an undead, but sometimes is able to negotiate with it instead. Cool. What is this? This is very shiny. Okay, so that lets me ward off trolls. Thank you. And then often the saga hero does this for the sake of treasure, but sometimes does it for other things as well. I don't know. Like, it feels like there's got to be something here I can do. Some way to kind of go down. Otherwise I'm just going back up where I was, which already felt like it was a dead end. I don't know. I like these monsters too. We'll talk about them in a moment. But anyway, the breaking of the mound is... Yep, thank you. Nope. Want to pick that up again, please. Then I want to go up. There we go. It is a super interesting trope, in my mind, because that's one of our most common instances of undead, but also is a moment of kind of crossing of boundaries into someone else's home, and then having to find some way through. Oftentimes it is through violence, but it enables, in like, Hervarar Saga, when the Berserker Angantir's mound is broken open, that becomes a place for where poetry and persuasion rather than violence actually serves to win Hervar her ancestral blade, the cursed Tyrving, which goes poorly for everyone involved. It was not a good idea for her to do that, but she did, so, and we get a saga out of it. So, you win some, you lose some. But, so then it is just a point where it kind of is interesting, where having that little meditation stone by the fire, this little exploration, a bit like harkens back to that, I think. Probably not deliberately, but ends up being super interesting and compelling from it. Anyway, let's talk about translation and interpretation, because obviously we have an issue of that we can't talk to anyone here. Ha! Yep, I hear your Eliana. It is a little bit sacred versus profane. It's not straightforwardly that. Sorry, I really just want to leave. Okay, I get it. You want us to go. You're going to go, but I don't know where I can go. I don't know where I am allowed to go. Shiny. Yes, please. I would very much appreciate hints, because while I can talk about these guys for a while, I'm sure the straight line is probably, or the still screen is probably not ideal. I can go right past the lift. Oh. Okay. Thank you. Got it. I thought I tried climbing those rocks and it didn't work. Okay, nope, I'm just bad. Okay, cool. Yeah, I have more than welcome hints, backseats, if I get stuck. I got the item from those guys, I thought. Because I could offer the... Yeah. Unless there's another item, in which case, well done on managing to program a ton of options. Like, last time... Yep, no big deal. But you know, you guys, I'm super impressed with the amount of work going into this. Because, like, I gave a different, instead of giving herbs before... Oh, that's not good. That guy is aggressive. That guy is just aggressive. Need to pull the sword. Problem. I don't have a sword right now. I don't have my sword right now. I am super dead. I don't know how I dropped my sword, but I did. Neat. Oh well, yeah, I appreciate your guys' checkpoint system because, yeah, it's... Oh, I don't have that. Okay, it is very generous and, does a lot to... Okay, yes, thank you. I am aware I am bleeding. Progress won't be saved until I heal. Neat. Okay. Good to know. Because this game is brutal, but also, you guys seem to be putting in a whole lot of checkpoints here to make it a little bit kind of better. Eat to slow down bleeding. Let's slow down bleeding. Cause yeah, like that fixes, you know, one of the common complaints I've heard from people who do like Souls-likes of, you know, you're running up the same area over and over and over and over and over. Oh, the meditation bead does things. Interesting. Not that you can see, because I may have forgotten to put that somewhere remotely useful. Neat. That is a handy thing. Come on, grab it. Yep. And platforming stuff. I am not good at platformers, so when I miss this jump and fall to my death, fair play. Nope, fair. You got me. Congratulations. But anyway, yeah. While you were AFK, I was talking a little bit, Oh, come on. I thought I escaped that one. Okay. One more try with feeling. While you're gone, I talked a little bit about kind of your character design here, and, like, while it's not historical, I think it communicates what you wanted to about the world really well. Okay, nope, fair. Because obviously this is a really harsh world, and while on the one hand, like, with how colorful medieval clothing is, and really all pre-modern clothing is, I think there's something really interesting to be said, for trying to make the game, or something of your character's, clothing really bright as a sort of... Well done. A sort of very bright kind of counteraction to that. I think this is trying to communicate something to the player about the nature of the world and its harshness. And, you know, that has a lot of value. Far more, you know, making sure that you're communicating the thing you want to the player is obviously really important and really a good part of fantasy. But yeah, I don't know, because him wearing like bright yellow, which is a historically attested color, would be really weird. It would change the tone of the game quite exceptionally. And I don't know it would change it in a way that makes it better. Oh, well that's not good. Do I still have sword? Nope, I do not have my sword right now. Well, that's very bad. Maybe I just run. Maybe I just don't worry about the sword right now, and we just run like hell. Ha! Bait it. Come on, give me time. Give me time and ability to run. What? I thought I grabbed it. I thought I grabbed the sword. Aw. But yes, I think you, there's clearly a lot of care put in, to making this whole thing work. I really wish I had the, I really wish I had the dagger, because, yeah. Oh, dang. He owned me. The dagger would be very helpful in accomplishing anything. But that's okay. Yeah, I think I need to sit out a fire, though, first, don't I? Oh, I don't have leather. Okay. So I just don't have it yet, so... Spawn in, please. Come on, my dude. I believe in you. Come on. Hi. Hi. Still hi. Damn it. Hello? Yeah, okay, so... Turns out, I did not realize that I got guard broken, but that's okay. I will eventually get good at this combat, and it will not be on this stream. But yeah, I expect running away will be wiser. Just, you know, need to not drop the sword and torch this time on the way. Ow. Thank you. Well, yep, we will definitely, keep kind of banging our head up against it for a bit, because I want to talk about the enemy design, too. The enemy design here is, you know, feels very much kind of based in the best... Ow. The best traditions of kind of... I don't know. Ow. The best traditions of kind of like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, horrible spooky character design. Yep. It's just still figuring out this control scheme, so I totally believe you, like, blocking twice up there is doable and probably good, but this combat system is really deep, and... Yep, there we go. Got it. And so it's just a matter of taking some time to sort it out and be bad at it for a while. I'm really enjoying the combat system, it's just by no means easy. Which is kind of cool. But by the way, kind of on a more game design thing, one thing that you said that I was kind of curious about is with the whole... Oh, there was still the torch there. Whoops. Oh well, no big deal. With your idea of this being a really experiential player driven story, which I think thus far is already succeeding at, how does the kind of checkpoint system and rough or difficult combat kind of factor into that when, you know, there's definitely some idea of wherein this is, I guess, oh, let me pick that up again, please. Yep, thank you. Please pick up, please. I know it's there. Oh my guy. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Yes, that would be why. I am good at the video games, and I definitely remember my buttons. When I play 2 games a week, it is very much part of the experience, for good, bad, or indifferent, that I forget all of my buttons. Anyway, the guys that we fought, though, I think I was super interested by, because it's also, like, it's fitting the very kind of demon-y idea, wherein they are, you know, multiple-eyed horned beings, but it's also very much fitting into contemporary ideas of trollhood. Okay. I can't make the jump, so if you're gonna let me down, do it quick, please. Well, I seem to be committed to this plan, so nothing for it. Oh yeah, thank you. I will eventually figure out my interact button exists and is good. Yep. Having one button do that many things is definitely helpful, but also I am bad at remembering it. And that's not the most the button I would ever think of first for kind of this stuff, especially after after playing a bunch of rogue or a bunch of like Souls-likes where that's a block button. That is not my most intuitive button I've ever seen. It works for this game, I think. I just need to remember it. Anyway, though, these like I don't know that they're actually trolls. In fact, I would suspect that they're not that. Given that. What's their names? Krilt, I would guess is their names, based off the in-game description there. But they're very much kind of fitting modern ideas of both demons and trolls in a way that is, well, clearly kind of coming out of your true fantasy tradition, with I don't know, things like orcs, all sorts of weird guys like that. Oh, loosely on Jawas from Star Wars. Incredible. I am a fan. Okay, so I cannot interact with this one because it's broken. Makes sense. Alright, see you, Leander. Ah, just jump on him more. Perfect. Ow. My guy. How rude of you. Okay, so a very much ancient, a sort of ancient world, that we are building on and building on and building on. And we are yet another layer of interloper. So this ends up reminding me a lot of and the Underground kind of reflects this, is of course, very kind of Irish ideas of the journey to the kind of underworld, which is related to the Aeshdila, but is not necessarily theirs, just like the all sorts of other entities. The Tuatha are not necessarily there, but are related to it, and there's a lot of these sorts of ideas all very much interacting, but journeying to another world, wherein there are other monstrous entities, or semi-monstrous, as the case may be. She wanted to make that jump? Yeah. Who are potentially who you can befriend, but also are fundamentally perilous. I think, who is it that talks about Elfland as being perfectly, in the end, perfectly perilous? Is that Ursula Le Guin? And maybe Ursula Le Guin talks about that. And this feels like it's got a lot of that kind of stuff. Wherein we are very much kind of... Okay. Let's head back up a bit. And then we seem to be slightly wounded and panting, so once we get up, we should probably stop and meditate. This now goes all the way up and all the way down. Okay. Anyway, so it is... Our story is, you know, pretty... Thus far, been pretty kind of simple. Like, we were out on some kind of hunting trip, and things went poorly for us. and we are now stuck in the underworld, but this is not a... It is being executed quite well. There we go. And we don't need a lot of complication there in order to have it be compelling, and this world is doing a whole lot to be compelling. Now this guy looks to me like a troll, and I think maybe it would be wise to set down the... to put out our torch, and then be... Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Hey, I'm not... You are not actively... Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Crap. I don't... Well, that was a small beginning, but it was a beginning. Nope. Wrong thing. Just need that, please. Bye. Bye. Good enough. I don't need my knife. One heavy key later. We are fine. Oof. As I almost missed the jump awkwardly. I continue to be bad at platformers, and that is totally okay. But yeah, the idea of also the kind of what you're mentioning there, of there being layers of kind of inhabitants. So, you know, the Rin create the place, and then it is now being inhabited by others, is also very much in line with kind of Irish ideas of the various layers of habitation of Ireland. Because, of course, the Tuatha are just the prior inhabitants of Ireland, and so we're kind of are pretty... Yes, quiet. Ow. Rude. 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 There we go. Oh, neat. My dude. Good jump attack. So, yeah, it's an interesting place where kind of fantasy is freely in the, see? Nope, this is actually combat. Let's just go. 2, 3. Ow. Wow, no, he wrecks me. Fun. Hi there, Alex. Glad to see you joining us. We are playing, Ooh, wait, you can? Hold on. Russian... Not that I can read this, but there's no dialogue anyway, so who cares? Whoa, you have so many languages. Sorry, looks like... That's a lot of localization work. Canadian, UK, US, Russian, Polish, French, Quebecois French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Portuguese, Brazilian, Turkish, Finnish, Japanese, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Korean, Arabic, Danish, Dutch, Norwegian, Swedish, and Gaelic. That's amazing. No, I should actually set it to a language I can read. Hang on. Nay. There we go. Norwegian. I can read Norwegian. Okay, so I've learned that we cannot... Yep. Ow. Rude. My dude. Rude. Rude. Nope, wrong button. Where's my sword? Sword. Sword. There we go. Got it. Ow. Ah, damn it. Still died. Yes, and thank you, Alex, for the follow as well. So, anyway, to plug this game for the, since you're just walking into it, this is, Unto the End, which just came out today. That is a sort of, combat platformer, with a very kind of dark medieval... Nope, no. Keep running. I believe in our ability to run like hell. Ow. If I sheathe the sword, then I cannot... Well, I fell off a cliff. It was a good idea, until it stopped working. Maybe we'll just focus on winning this combat fight, then. Anyway, yo, so these kind of troll-like guys with, you know... So let's see if I... Ow, crap. Nate. That makes sense. I do want to try and win this, even though I'm getting wrecked at it. I will eventually, because otherwise I will never get good. And as we all know, getting good is deeply important, as just a part of the experience. Ow. Or I can just die twice. Oh, good to know. Thank you, Steven. Anyway, yeah, so these, like, troll guys, I mean, as you're saying, like, they're not being straightforwardly, like, just cannon fodder guys that you don't... Ow. Dang it. I was close. I did it better this time, and then I just whiffed the attack high. So yeah, this definitely seems like it's a game that values quite heavily, you know, not, Ow. Ow. Nope, this one goes poorly. Got knocked over, got wrecked. No big deal. Yeah, I'm still interested by these guys and kind of their relationship to trolls, because they're fitting, like... You're definitely communicating a whole lot of the kind of fancy, you know, troll as straightforwardly monstrous. Okay, that doesn't work. That does not work. Can't do that. Cannot block the jump attack. So yeah. However, the thing that kind of interests me is that trolls in the Norse corpus, to the Vikings, kind of the origin point for them, and even something you see in, like, Tolkien in some relatively early, that still doesn't work. Come over here. Thank you. There we go. Stop jump attacking, please. We'll just play smart and always dodge roll. Oh, I just died in one hit? Well, that's fun. No big deal. We'll get this eventually. Anyway, trolls are sentient, and you see that even in early Tolkien, where trolls are able to kind of definitely at least think for themselves, even if they get used a lot, for... Nope. Well, that's not good. What the heck happened there? Weird. Block low and get hit high, you take twice 2x damage. Good to remember. Okay. Whatever, Stop it. Stop. I need to be able to see. I need to be able to see. And I have no sword. Where is my sword? Interesting. Well, that one went poorly. So anyway, the point is that trolls are kind of sentient and are vocal, like they're social monsters. So they're something that definitely kind of means oh, neat. Okay. I just bounced off his face. We'll try running past. I think that's probably a better idea. Let's just run for our lives. That seems a lot smarter. But yeah, being social monsters, like they speak, they communicate to people. Oh. Okay, yeah, you are... Ow. Okay, or I can just get bullied. I tried to run past. I tried to do the thing. But yeah. And you can... Like, this game communicates a little bit of the social troll, but not all of it by any metric. Ow. So, by the way, I don't like how the light gets dimmer. Like, as I was running away, the light just got dimmer, so I can't actually see what the heck's going on. So, we actually need to win that fight if I want to, see. It looks like it may just be kind of in general, but I don't have time to process information. What? I don't know how I bounced into the guy there. Weird. Oh well. Not a problem. I'm still having a blast, even though... I hope this is okay to watch, even though I am obviously not good at the game. Okay. But yeah, I don't know, let's try and ramble a bit about translation and interpretation, in the Middle Ages, because obviously these guys are social in the fact that they are an other that exists. I rolled. My guy. More death. So, like, these guys in being some kind of sentient other, but other that we can't talk to, ends up causing some amount of issues, because obviously, it is hard to... Ah, so close. It is really, really hard to kind of learn from and talk to people that you don't share a language with, and that sort of cultural communication is really hard. Alright, nope, fair. Continues to own me. We'll get there, I believe in us. So, like, this game does it somewhat well, and like, if I remember right, Steven, in one of your trailers, you said that you thought specifically kind of about that in the game is, what does this... Oh. What does that look like? Right? Ha! Get wrecked. That, how do you build a relationship with someone that you don't share a language with? And how do you talk to them, and interact with them in any sort of meaningful way? Exactly. These guys are essentially intelligent bears, and it's a really interesting question of, what do you do? And of course, that to some extent, reflects experiences of people throughout history crossing into areas that they don't really understand. So, like, the classic-ish case where that goes kind of really poorly, would be with Roman, interactions in Germania early on, because there were not very many Romans who spoke the German language, or I mean, for lack of, it's probably a form of Proto-Germanic at the time in the 1st century. So, like, once they learned enough to kind of recognize each other and communicate, I mean, that obviously meant that interactions were often really tense. For more than that, obviously, Rome had a vested interest in doing an imperialism and conquering Germania and displacing the people there. But at the same time, the linguistic barrier ends up being part of that. And in the Middle Ages, you see very similar things with interactions with the Hungarians. Charlemagne interacts with... I feel like the only thing I can do is jump down, and that also feels extremely suspicious. But he briefly attempted to try and convert the Hungarians to Christianity, and actually wound up making an alliance with the King of Hungary, because a revolt in Brittany called him back across Europe. But ultimately, like, if you're thinking about how that must work, or must have worked, there's something really kind of odd going on there, where, there must have been an interpreter. There must have been some way of engaging with them, because it's not like it's an Italian and the Spaniard, two people speaking different, in the 8th century, people speaking different dialects of late or descendant Latin. There just straight up isn't... Oh, problem. Ow. That's high, that's high. That's high, that's high. Ah, dang it. He owned me. I tried to block it, I failed. But yeah, it's super cool. And, like, that must be a part of the consideration. But, you're not really gonna... low. That's... Yeah, there must have been an interpreter there, but medieval sources are notoriously awful at ever describing interpreters being present. So, like, The Life of Charlemagne by Einhard actually says, we know that Charlemagne knew Latin and French, and he knew some Greek. He wasn't great at it, but he knew some Greek. And he knew German really, really well. Oh, is there actually a fire there? That would be huge, because I do want to try and make a tonic. But yeah, so he was able to speak with people quite well, and so, early in the 9th century, there's a case where right before Charlemagne's death, a King Harald, named Harald Klak, of Denmark, came to... Oh, don't have the materials for that. I'm not wounded. Don't need sparring practice. Don't have enough of those. Well then. Nothing for it. We are fine. We just have a fire, have a nice checkpoint. Oh, does that actually do things? That is worth being aware of. Nope. Sit down, please. There we go. As he meditates, do we get story? We get story! Huzzah! I will appreciate more of this story. Because, yeah, we get to see more here. And again, this is all this very stereotypical, like, Viking sort of farm. And you get to see a little bit of a memory. I love that. Yeah. I mean, the motivations here do not need to be complex because it's just a really good motivation that a lot of people relate to. And ultimately, that's something that is historically, a really powerful driving force. One thing recent scholarship has made more and more clear is the fact that, you know, families traveled in the Viking Age, both overland and by sea. It wasn't always just men going off and doing things, but in some raids it was men. And we have runestones of people having to raise raise memories of people that they lost out on a raid. So there's a bunch, I guess in that vein, there's a series of runestones related to an Ingvar, which is usually called Ingvar Vidfertla. Oh, problem. Sword. Thank you. Ow, that's high. Low, high, low, and then high. Low, high, nope, dead. Low, dead. But anyway, in the 11th century, this Ingvar led an expedition out to oh, problem. I fed there. Led an expedition out somewhere to around like the Caspian Sea, we think. It's unclear exactly how far he went, but definitely into Central Asia. And, you know, in that expedition went horribly wrong and most people involved died. Somewhere way out in what is fundamentally like the middle of nowhere. Ooh, all of the shinies. There is indeed a hidden chamber. Where does this go? There we go. Do I exist yet? Where am I? I would love to be able to pick up a... oh. I am on a ladder. That makes sense. Yep. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I was just like, I want to light a torch so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And then I couldn't light a torch. And then it was... hard to do things. Hey look, it's another thing here. More plot. Still can't do that. I can do that though. I have a medical drink. Now let's check out our more plot. But yeah, so there are like 100 runestones in Sweden related to this expedition, potentially. Oh, more of the same. Okay. Huzzah. And, you know, very few people made it back, and this is one that does seem to have been a very heavily skewed male expedition. Cause, well, ooh. Ta-da! That is very important. One Jernhelm. But yeah, this would be a case where, you know, I would not be imagining back into the past as something that fantasy is really, really good at, as something that all fiction is really good at. But it would not be a surprise to me if some of those people's kind of late thoughts had to deal with... oh, bad. I fed. Yep, I fed. Thank you. I appreciate that. There was another bug early on with one of the spikes. One of the spike traps resetting. Where I died like 4 times to it, cause it like reset way too soon. So, if you're kind of looking for bug fixes, that was another one that it didn't work for a while and then it did. But yeah, it would not surprise me for that expedition in the 1040s if the consequence or response some of them had is that, you know, they were thinking of their families. Nope, can I offer you a stick in this trying time? Thank you, friend. Thank you for bones. I have no herb though, so. Okay, can I just leave? Yeah. Bye. Yeah. Hey look, there's some deer out there. We should go hunt them. But this is super pretty. I adore this. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good idea. No thanks. Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Nope. Okay. I suppose we should probably do the thing. Walking backwards probably isn't our solution. But I sure want to. Cause, yeah, there are some things you don't tussle with. Yeah, I do somewhat have to wonder, like, what he was doing all the way out here. And he's trying to get home, but... yeah, that. Is that the deer as a weapon? My guy. Why? Okay, that looks like an introduction to trying to use the duck mechanic to do stuff. No thanks. Yeah, it does seem like he's out hunting, but he doesn't actually have any of the, you know, stuff of hunting. He just is out here with a sword. Doing stuff. Sorry, my guy. Ow. Yeah, that's reasonable. Okay, well... that's okay. You know what that means. We shall fight him. And lose, but we shall fight him. Ow. Okay, he one-shots me. Never mind, this is a bad idea. You are correct. Lightstone seems like a very good idea here. That is the correct move. Thank you for reminding me that existed. Okay, so this guy is really our troll. And he seems like, you know, as I was mentioning, trolls are social monsters. Or sometimes cats, or sometimes other stuff. Yeah, there's like one saga where there's a bunch of cats that are trolls. I'm not an enemy. If I give you, I cannot offer you. I'm sorry, my friend, I cannot offer you anything. I had nothing to give you. Unfortunately. I should be able to make that. Interesting. Well then, let's see what's back this way a little ways, besides the troll again. But yeah, anyway, there was one saga where a troll, instead of looking like the Abominable Snowman, is actually just 20 cats. That's in that style of saga, where there's a sorcerer who curses 20 cats to have a troll-like nature, and the lead family of the saga is all very, very concerned about that. Somewhat, you know, understandably, I would think. No one wants to get close to the cats because they're kind of, you know, terrifying. Not wounded. Have those. Awesome. Yeah, a troll-like nature in this context is very hard to interpret. Ow. I saw it coming. I still walked into it face first. Not far enough? Still not far enough? No? There we go. Ow. I should apparently need to not roll into things, cause, yeah. Rolling into walls hurts you, which is probably, intelligent and fair. But yeah, in this context, the troll-like nature is really kind of difficult to determine. I'll be honest. It's an absolute pain to figure out what the heck that is. It is just in some way... It is a nature that is in some way cursed. Looks like I come back to that a different route. So, whether that's putting an evil spirit inside of the cats, or in some way augmenting them, or just them being really dang unpleasant. All of the above are okay. That being said, it is a bit weird because they are usually female. Wonder if I get that shield. I do not get that shield. I just get more herbs. Yep, I'm not here to hurt you. I only hurt when it's needed, like when you guys run at me face first. So yeah, it's not exactly something that has an easy answer to it, but it is a very much socialized kind of... Oh, well that's not good. If you're gonna attack, then I'm gonna... Ow. I'm gonna die because I didn't have my sword out. And yeah. That seems reasonable. Ow. Wow. No, fair play. Owned me. I will get good at this game and not button spam eventually. Nope. There we go. Let us attempt this stone and see if it helps. It does help. Amazing. Well, that lets us save so many herbs for doing everything else. Okay. But yeah, so that's an interesting kind of difference, is that I guess in some ways, like, your not trolls are more troll-like than your actual trolls. But totally reasonable in our fantasy setting of big, bulky, abominable snowman type guy is a troll. He's a troll. But yeah. It is... Can't go up there yet, so we will go down here. Ta-da. And then that unveils the thingy, which drops this, which lets us go up. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, the dark fantasy elements here are all extremely strong and visible, but... An item, you say? Well, we can't miss out on any of those, because they're all pretty cool. Nope, that just takes it up again. Please don't do that. Ow. Bonk. You. So, meanwhile, what else are we seeing here? More kind of cave diving, which is not such a strong thing, but I do love just a little bit of, oh, of course, jump up. That makes sense. Oh well, I do love this kind of tree, I guess. We went up and down just to show off that tree in all of its glory. Cause, well, it's not exactly, oh yes, the 2-inch ledge. A classic. Did that say what I think it said? That's awesome. Well, I think it just equips us. I assume that means if we drop it, it's a bit easier to pull back. That was really well hidden, but if that's what it sounds like it does, then that is extremely, extremely powerful. So, like, you wouldn't want that to just be something anyone gets, because, yeah, that's really, really strong. Anyway. I wonder if we're actually just not injured, and the blood on us is purely cosmetic at the moment. Yeah, straps definitely. A chain, probably not so much, just because chains are difficult, but the idea of using some kind of leather strap as part of your gear in order to help hold on to things is attested from the 13th century. But it is, I mean, it makes logical sense, and it's, you know, a really good thing to be having. Indeed. Anyway, I wonder if I can not... If this does not have to be a fight. This looks like it doesn't have to be a fight. I don't have any herbs to offer you, though. Nope, nope. Oh, crap. We're going for a fight. Yep, he owned me. The ownage is real. That's okay. Ow. Cool, no. So yeah, I am still trying to figure out this combat system, but this does also seem to lean to a lot of kind of very, for lack of a better word, kind of, brutalistic, kind of, I guess, fancy barbarian aesthetics, in a very kind of Conan sense, I guess. Dang it, I shoulder bashed into his face. But yeah, you know, lots of bones, these kind of skull motives of the potentially bad guys being portrayed as bad and different and other because they use, like, bone totems. And obviously the game does quite a bit to kind of complicate that, in that we don't have to go around fighting these guys a lot of the time. Ow. He wrecked me. He wrecked me again. I actually don't know why I don't know why you need to fight this guy, because this just loops me around to right back where I was. So what's the other way first? Is this just where I came from? Yeah. We'll let them be in peace, because, you know, while they are using bones for everything and are potentially, you know, killing people and using their skulls for stuff based off the usage of skulls for stuff, at the same time, there's no actual need to go hunt them down. So we won't, and we'll instead keep going on our merry way and get more leather. The brutalism of it, the kind of, you know, fancy Vikings use blood or use bones and stuff, It does extend to the player character too, obviously with our 2 crafting items being leather and bones. Creates this very much like fancy. I don't know. Conan is kind of where I always draw the link to. But ow. Fair play. No. You wrecked me. Should have known there was a spear throwy guy there. Let's see if I can take him out first. Nope. Problem. Ha! Ow. Yes, I know. I could not stand up on time. Huzzah! That's what I get. I was bleeding out. So, you know. Fair play. But good to know that we can use these spear guys to just wreck each other. Or I can just not duck. Call it a day. Huzzah! No big deal. But yeah, anyway, there's a lot... I'm feeling a lot of the Conan influence in this. Nope, I do need a roll there. Okay. A whole lot of the Conan influence in the bones and leather and skulls being all part of the aesthetic. Which is not a bad thing, it's just, it is a thing. And these guys also seem to be wearing camouflage. At least the Javeliner does. Reed, super often. The idea of there being throwing spears of some... Ow. Flavor is... No. Oh. He speared me behind the tree where I couldn't pay attention. Okay. Part of, you know, like Roman kit is the pilum or the thrown javelin, but you'd also see thrown javelins in a lot of other places. Oh cool, he's actually out of spears now. Very kind of him. Nope, that just killed me. Oh, I'm not dead yet. How am I not dead yet? Wow. Huzzah! More progress, more combat. I thought I was supposed to attack high there, or attack... Well, when I hear the sound, I thought I was supposed to attack the opposite of what he did. Ah, he got me. Weird. Okay, we'll figure it out. New enemy, new rules. Anyway, yeah, he definitely feels supposed to be like a kind of guerrilla skirmisher. It's kind of the overall aesthetic, and these guys are very, orc-like. Ow. He is just absolutely dunking on me. Okay, please stop. Dang. Hello there, Warian. Okay. Yes. I get it. So it's not the last thing you guarded, it's the last... Oh, that was a low. And that's dead. Figured out this time. I see. Oh, I seem to have lost my bracer entirely. Next time I get to a fire, I'll have to look at making some more armor. Because yes, helmets are good. Helmets are important armor. Historically, helmets are kind of, you know, the second most important piece of armor that you can... That makes sense. I don't have a knife right now, so... using the spears would be useful, because I have no knives. But yeah, the... what's his face? Words. The, helmet is the second most important piece of armor, in the Middle Ages after the shield. You pretty much didn't, chainmail, torso armor, either tunic or, some kind of textile armor, was definitely less important, especially in the Viking Age, than a shield first, because shields are really, really good, because you can move them. And then helmets, because getting whacked in the head hurts. And also, they just use a lot less... They use a... Nope, don't want... Okay, I'm going to assume that you want me to offer you one of these on the grounds that you're hunched over a very dead guy. No, I didn't want to eat it. Ugh. So be it. Let's get closer, and then offer it. That still is eat. Offer. There you go, friend. Oh yes, thank you. Woad Kipu. Kipu being derived off of... a real word? Here? Let's see. Knitted, yeah, based off like the... sort of like knotted communication or pseudo writing system of, yeah, of Peru. Yes. Which, that is super cool, because of course, European fantasy has a bad habit of not acknowledging other cultures in respectful ways. And so making the WOD here derive from that, and having their very own clear warrior honor system, that you can see laid out kind of here with this guy on a burial, or at least a partially completed burial / sacrificial mound of some variety. Well, presumably a duel happened here based off the blood trail this way, where the other guy got injured. Very much like giving hints of a really nice, fully developed culture with its own writing system that lets us do something. So that's cool. Yes. More fantasy should do that, because that's, clearly, you know, being an invention, but taking the orc guys and instead of just doing more than just coding them as not European, but actually giving them a depth and a culture and a system that exists beyond just go forth and be cannon fodder. So you'll love to see it. Just a little bit of a deconstruction of fantasy tropes goes a long way. That being said, we seem to be in some sort of military camp. Nay. Ha, sword is out. Now we can actually try doing things. Nope, or I can just die horribly. Fun! What is this thing? Indeed. Nope, that does nothing. Okay. Fair play. Ow. That was high and I didn't see it. Got it. Yes, I know you're wounded. You're fine. Continue to be fine. More herbs, and let's just meditate again for a moment. Because taking naps, in perfect tradition, taking naps, solves all of our problems. But yeah, as we're looking here, I'm seeing kind of some of the same sort of, well, very much fancy tropes here of our war camp. You know, the guy has leather. Are you actually alive? Like, here. We'll just leave that next to you, okay? Yes. I know you're talking, I just can't hear you. Or can't do anything. Oh well, let's head down. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot of kind of deliberate, basing, of... Yeah, I wasn't sure if left or down looked more... Ooh. Okay, this looks like a different area, and there's I see Egyptian stuff, so let's head left first. Once again, I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that these guys are not the... Like with the guys we saw earlier, these guys are moving into a previously extant area. Hey. I don't know what thing you want, if anything. That being said, I may have offered all of my... herbs already, so... Uh-huh. Interesting. I like that. I mean, you'll never get that on the first try, but that's super cool. Also, I notice you're using female pronouns for this person. Which is also super cool. This is very much fitting into what I'm seeing as kind of traditional ideas of... the deep lore. I have been given the deep lore. But that makes sense, that we were in the forest, we fought some, and then we went out here and they were fighting different ones. But anyway, I did notice you used, like, firstly female pronouns, and then second, she is doing shamanism. Which is very good on both counts, because it is... While a lot of the tropes of shamanism as an entity come to us from Siberia, where shamans tend to be male. Within a Norse context, it is extremely, extremely common and good to have them be... yes, I wish to offer stick. I don't know if stick is the right thing to offer, but I will offer them anyway. But yeah, it is, like, in a Norse context, it is, I may have already offered my offering. Oh well. Aw, that's very sweet. Can I? That's cool. I am liking the number of already seeing some extremely different religious... Nope. There we go. Some extremely different religious practices. The one, like, our prayer stance here is very stereotypically kind of the, armed pilgrim at prayer. I'll use that term instead of crusader, though they are definitely related, but it's a form of, like, nightly prayer, where you pray over the cross that shows up in Hollywood media all the time. while this guy is doing something very different, which is something very different yet again from just above us, the shaman doing some sort of ritual with an invocation or prayer-like aspect. All of those things are super duper different, but in a way that feels meaningful. Like you're encountering a bunch of different cultures here, and that is just straight up a good thing. Speaking of different cultures here, the guy I noticed had some like design similarities to kind of our Hollywood mummy, as we enter an area with very obvious Egyptian hieroglyphs and some kind of stele. Hello, I don't want to fight you. I don't know that I have a choice, so may as well go big. Well, you seemed actually non-aggressive, so I feel bad now. But anyway, these steles look like they are using a mix of kind of... I would probably interpret them as based on hieroglyphics, but based on, you know, this one in the center here. Well, that's awkward. But yeah, based off this one in the center, I'm going to say that these are kind of largely looking at like cosmological things. So, you know, we have our cosmology of what was clearly a kind of star chart type thing, and then here we've got different stuff going on with different figures, potentially constellations, but also potentially other sorts of sacred texts. Regardless, this is clearly a spot that is not really meant to be seen. So, you know, we asked... Someone mentioned earlier kind of the breaking of the mound as using sacred and profane stuff. This is a space that is clearly meant to be... Yes. Indeed. I shall also show you the Kipu, because that does something. That did something. Huzzah! A library. I like that idea. Obviously with like no idea of kind of the writing system, and obviously, you know, the word also using Kipu as some kind of identifying marker, which is, you know, famously a alternative communication style besides writing. That's hard to say, but regardless, like, I like interpreting that as a kind of sacred space, which knowledge being interpreted as sacred is also extremely, you know, common. Oh, I didn't want to drink that. That's fine. Extremely common and normal and totally fine. But clearly, was not the spot where people are meant to be in ordinary circumstances. It is instead a spot where, you know, lots of people get to, or where someone comes for contemplation or to try in some way to engage in a different frame than the world above. And the idea of making that down is also super interesting, simultaneously, you know, understandable and common in both an Egyptian sense, with the idea of the Duat, and then underground burial spaces as well as being common in, again, Irish stuff for the kind of traditional fantasy blend of Norse and Celtic stuff here. Making the sacred space down is a very interesting decision that I think references some pretty interesting things. Anyway, we are at currently 2 hours. I am tempted to keep going, usually call it after a while, but I am having a grand time with this, and so I think, you know, we may We may keep going for a little bit longer here. Just kind of see what else we can run into. Because we've already run into 2 very interesting cultures, and then fought a troll, or ran away from a troll. Interacted with and only killed some of a few different cultures. Trying to be a better anthropologist than medieval people often were. Oh, I dropped the torch. Hello, torch, please come back. I need you. But anyway, we are actually now, well, we're now in a potentially difficult situation where I have no herbs, and I am bleeding somewhat profusely. So, yeah. It was worth a shot. I didn't remember the last time I rested. It's been a while since we had a fire. But I am bleeding and I have no herbs, so... You know, we'll have to see how this goes. But I have a feeling this is... climbing up into the center of this will be potentially bad. No? They just run away. Helpful. Hey, I want to go not that way. This feels like something's supposed to happen here. But I cannot offer anything. And I actually don't know what this does. I didn't figure that out. That's okay. Are there herbs in here? I'm trying to pick them up. Oh, there they are. Good. Herbs are important. That's enough. That's actually enough herbs to do the thing. To make a poultice. Oh crap. Or to try and deal with my bleeding out, because now I am definitely bleeding because I am bad. Oh, amazing! I love it! Ow. Or I can just continue to walk off cliffs and die. It's fine. Not a big deal. I am a big fan of that, Steven. Because... You know, few things as a historian who does Viking stuff frustrate me more than the ideas of like Berserkir and all sorts of just, you know, shamanic elixirs that are all based in grabbing a whole bunch of drugs and just eating whatever herbs they come across and are trying to do health by that. That's obviously not practical. In the Middle Ages, even fairly early on, many cultures, not just... Well, the one that's written down is, of course, Latin Christianity. But many cultures had some kind of acknowledgement of, you know, what various herbs did and how you could use them in a meaningful way to promote health. So like Bald's Leech book is 8th century, written in Old English, and some of the poultices in that are actually found to still be effective. Like one for eye infections was circulating on the internet as, oh look, this thing actually still works. Which should not be surprising, but is. It definitely happened, Steven. It's not... I like your idea of stitching them together more than the idea of cauterizing. Cauterizing was used specifically for infections as a way of kind of... Yeah, there's got to be something down there. Oh well. We are not going to 100% this. Let's not even try. Cauterizing was more often used in the case of infections as a way to kind of cleanse it out, so you'd lance it, and then you'd cauterize it, and then you would also be able to then apply a poultice to it to help hopefully clean it out. So, I like the stitching more, because that's another thing that is attested, sutures as a response to kind of surgery, and yeah, being able, I mean, lots of places were able to do surgery at a quite detailed level. New Kingdom Egypt, once again, I fall down and do a dumb, and I am now injured. Oh well. But yeah, New Kingdom Egypt, like, what is that, 1800 BC? Was able to do, actual, like, brain surgeries. So, and, like, understood anatomy enough to, kind of get the idea, like, there's a nerve that runs from your left ring finger all the way to the heart. And so they actually identified that nerve. What do you want? Offering? Or do you just want me to kind of sit down? I am unsure what you want from me, but... Is there? A hint in this room, you say? Let us look around then. Those look suspiciously like herbs. Fine, I will give you my herbs. Yup. Cool. We got a part of a thing. Anyway. So that seems to dead end. But we can climb down here. And see kind of, we can kind of keep pushing on. I don't know that, like, we're not gonna perfect this game, obviously. But, nope, that's not good. Now I am bleeding. Which is not optimal. This is super not optimal. But you know, sometimes tactical deaths... Neat. So, hi, Jormungandr? Fair play. No, I think I just died there. Push. Push. Okay. So, turns out I need to do something else before I can do that. I probably have the item. Let's take a look at what we actually picked up from that guy. Yeah, we've got... Yeah, exactly. Which I assume if we follow the other guy, we would get, since he's right here. Yup. And then the serpent won't... And then the serpent won't totally wreck me. Hopefully. Maybe. Not getting wrecked by the serpent seems useful. Ta-da! We got the Wanderer's Totem. Or, no. Yes. My Norwegian is rusty at best. And now we should be allowed past. I like that serpent, both being associated with clearly some kind of volcanic influence, in very much the tradition of kind of Greek Typhon. Oh crap, once again, I need to stop walking, need to stop falling down, into this pit every single day. I swear, I think every time I've walked past this, I have walked into this pit. Oh well. Here we are, and let's... this time, but yeah. Anyway, the serpent there. Oh, I'm bleeding, and I fell off the ladder because I am bleeding. Very graceful. On the bright side, you know, if I die, I have got the item. I don't need to redo this bit because I really appreciate that checkpoint system. Close enough. I don't think I have any. Also, I might be just... yeah. No, I know I didn't get the notched bone, but, or I know I didn't get the ability to save while I was bleeding. No. Jump there. But, tactical death, I got the Wanderer's Totem, so I only have to do walking instead of, you know, actually chasing people down. And now we can take on the serpent. Which, yeah, let's... hopefully this time, you know, when I see the serpent, I can talk about the serpent. Because, yeah, the serpent is super interesting, in that, you know... this area obviously feels very, very volcanic. But... with all the kind of steam rising and all that stuff. But also the serpent, I guess the serpent therefore like is a little bit reminiscent of something like Typhon or the giants under volcanoes in Greek mythology. But also the fact that I spewed poison at me is very much consistent with Norse stuff, and Jörmungandr, the Midgard serpent, being venomous. It's ow. Banged my head against the wall. There we go. So, double duty of cool good stuff. Anyway, we have a ability to heal. Ta-da! We don't have any sticks in order to make more things, or we don't have enough sticks to make more things, I should say. But that's okay. We can't make any of these. We don't need sparring practice, so... we have here again more writing. Can't quite make out the thing, but once again, clearly a site in active use. It looks like there's some kind of like bowl. Let me light up the torch here. Some kind of like, yeah, bowl or totem thing there, and then the beads on the edge of this one. Both are clearly suggesting use, and fairly regular use. So, one thing this game is doing so well, and I'm really happy about, is that all these sites, despite being old, and far older than the current inhabitants, are still being used, because that's something that historically is deeply important and true. In the Norse context specifically, something like Bronze Age burial mounds, like those found at Gamla Laila in Denmark, or at Gamla Uppsala in Sweden, get reinterpreted as kind of sites of religious significance, while the actual rituals kind of change. in response to it. Like, they're not burial mounds in the sense of what you would expect from, or they're not always read as burial mounds, except some, in a few cases where they kind of get intentionally read that way, but they clearly retain ritualized significance and become, in their own right, centers of really important religious beliefs, even as the religion itself changes, the inhabitants change. Kind of on every level, the world changes around them, but the sites remain important, and the kind of geography remains important. Anyway, shoutouts to Vlad the Impaler over here. Ow. Up, down. Damn it, dead. Oh, not dead. Surprising. Come on, keep fighting. I believe in you. I only need like one more. Rip. Exactly. I mean, Reed, you know that way better than I do, but it is absolutely true and always worth remembering. Because, yeah. Ow. I took double damage off of that. Ow. High. Low. High. Come on. And come on, get it. Yeah. And now that we're bleeding again, what else is new? We went through one whole fight and we need to immediately burn our meditation stone. Because of course. But it is, you know, it's a really cool bit that, you know, a lot of fantasy that does this kind of similar thing doesn't really, I don't know, doesn't really show a lot about. And indeed, we have seem to be in the midst of another war here. Not ideal. Oh, that was high. Okay. Well, kind of an issue. Okay. We must be close to the end of the game. I'm getting the sense that we are not that far away, because the stakes have gotten significantly higher now. Ah, damn it. And the music is a lot tenser, and there's a whole lot going on here. So, exactly. Yeah, this game has writing, it just doesn't have dialogue. But, you know, I know extremely little about this conflict, how ancient it is, kind of on a meta level, are kind of orc-like things, which, by the way, I'm going to assume that that's really intentional, that everything we're kind of facing here has some sort of, wow. New enemy type immediately wrecks me. All the guys have a very kind of animal-like design, from like the three-eyed goat people to all sorts of other. Oh, come, whoa, whoa, absolutely wrecked. Okay, let me try the option of throw a spear at this guy instead of fighting him fairly. That seemed like a good. Wow. Okay. Yep, he is. This guy's a toughie. Fair play to him. Let's try the immediate other option of do this, and I can always throw the spear afterwards if he still is aggro. Yeah, still is aggro. Buys us time. Okay. Sure. Anyway, yeah. I assume, Stephen, right, that it's really intentional that you're making all these guys very, unhuman looking as kind of a... I blocked that, I thought. Okay. But yeah, that you're making them really inhuman to kind of, I guess, trigger all the normal fantasy instincts, of... Yeah, wow. Of, you know, try and fight them because they're enemies and you fight, and they are like cannon fodder in a very Tolkienian kind of descent. Okay, I thought I was blocking him. That's fine. Oh, instead of attacking them, he kind of fell over because he's bleeding. So that's fair. I need to find a way to kind of deal with this guy a bit better. Maybe just trying to keep distance. Or is this one where I want to go on the attack here and kind of fake out... Immediately try and fake out things and stay aggro? That feels way better, I think. Do I? Oh. You know, I never even thought about processing that I have a jump attack. That makes super good sense. Jump and Y. Got it. That makes sense. Ow. Yep, so it's jump over him or roll under him and then attack. But I mistimed the jump and I get one shots, which is, you know, understandable. I mean, it's consistent with the world design, right? I'm not at all mad about it, because it is consistent with kind of the way the world has been working. Where this is a really bloody place and we are trying to survive, but it is a hard task and we are... The people here are not us, and, and the people here aren't us, they're embroiled in the wrong conflicts, and we are in the wrong place at the wrong time. We do not have something, you know, like a pilgrim's badge that says, you know, we are... I thought I jumped over that this time. Okay. Anyway, we don't have something like a pilgrim's badge, something in medieval Europe that, you know, indicated that this person is a pilgrim and you shouldn't attack them, though bandits were more than... Oh. I didn't realize I was alive and so just stood up there and watched myself die. But anyway, those things were... Like, bandits would use them, but also, I thought I was able to roll again. Dang. But yeah. They... Like, without that, someone wandering through, for lack of a better term, a knight-errant, though that's as much of a kind of romanticized... I really should just try and block that instead of trying to be fancy. But yeah, instead of the romanticized idea of the wandering knight or knight-errant, well, it isn't totally ungrounded, it is to some extent, a very fantastical. Okay, yes, I know. Still trying to figure out the best solution there. That's okay, we'll get him eventually. By the way, Steven, am I correct in kind of guessing that we're close-ish to the end here? Second high attack can be ducked. That's good to know. Because we've got like all 6 things and we're in this big climactic kind of fight. So I kind of... I'm assuming... Oh, I blocked low so it did double damage. Yep. Yep. So I obviously want to kind of push on until we finish, even though it's getting a little bit late here. I am having an absolute blast with this, so... You know, before it gets too much longer... Ow. So, I want to actually just say thanks for making this, because I am super enjoying it, and I'm sure I've seen only a small part of everything there is. And all the different options and interactions that there are. You know, like this super, like, big war thing, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of, because it definitely is reminding me of something, though, you know, one aesthetic that this game actually reminds me a lot of is kind of that of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Yeah. Because both with the kind of Scandinavian aesthetic and then also the really kind of tight, simple story, it really is, oh, well, ducked into it. 13th Warrior. Oh, yo, actually a great choice. Even though, you know, the movie's plot is all very, very much fictional, with it as kind of an, take on, you know, Ibn Fadlan, and his experiences traveling in the Rus in Scandinavia, and our super cool first-hand account. That is a really cool choice. Oh, I was too slow on that. Somehow. Blocked low. Yeah, anyway, that's actually a really interesting comparison. I like that you kind of mentioned that, because, you know, comparing this to Ibn Fadlan, and a kind of like reversal of one, thought I blocked that. Weird. It's a kind of reversal of his experiences, because he's one of the cases where we know that he actually had an interpreter with him, but, anyway. It, damn it. He is obviously coming out of this super cultured place, in the Abbasid Caliphate, and then takes a look at the Volga, Bulgars, and the Rus, and goes like, this is all kind of terrible. Why am I here instead of back home? Damn it. But also, he does really good anthropology work because he's on a diplomatic mission. And so he is our first-hand account for a whole bunch of stuff we like to think we know about the Vikings, even though we often have reason to be suspicious of him. Damn it. This guy is really tough. We'll get him eventually, but he's really, really tough. But anyway, so a lot of like our modern aesthetic of like tattooed guys who go around shirtless and are super masculine all the time comes from him, and so this is interesting to me as kind of a point of, well, comparison. Ow. Okay. Yeah. I've been trying to just dodge because I am bad at actually getting the blocks on correctly. But that's... Ow. Ah, that attack is the killer one. I have no idea what to do about that except to like double tap block really, really fast. Or I can just block the wrong direction and then die. Block high and then duck. Okay. Good to know. Well, we will figure it out eventually as I kind of keep going. Yeah, this is absolutely... Like, this guy is clearly right up near the end of the game. I blocked down on a knife. Oofed. We'll figure it out. I am just... You know, it's kind of a rhythm game, and I'm not super good at those either. That's okay. Oh, well, blocked down. It's cool that there's so much depth to this, even though I'm bad at it. Because, you know, one thing that, it's really easy for games to kind of... Ow. Ah, duck that. Damn it, he fell over and so I couldn't block. But yeah, like, something like, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla just came out. It basically has, like, one button that is meaningful in terms of blocking. And then you just kind of auto-block because your shield is this big giant thing. Well, I'm tanking the hit instead of actually doing anything with it, but that's okay. I may also try, like, shoulder bashing him to kind of see if I can throw him off balance in between attacks. Because it does seem like he's got some time. Blocked low. Yeah. Because, like, especially after that first low attack, he's got actually quite a bit of time where he's just kind of on the ground. Or kind of still recovering. Ow. I blocked down again. I need to stop blocking down on the knife. But yeah, shoulder bashing him to kind of disrupt him after that low attack. Nope. Still is wrong. I hit the attack button again instead of the block button. Yep. Oh, cool. He actually responds to that. That's cool. Yeah, this guy's a tough fight. It's cool that he actually responds to the shoulder bash with a dodge. So that kind of tells me something there, so yeah. Block down again. I keep wanting that to be a low attack for no obvious reason, when it's clearly at head height. I believe in me too. There we go. Oh. Nope. And then I just whiffed all of that. Oh boy. At least these are fast, you know? I am kind of curious. What is our option here of just run the heck away? Ow. Is there an option to just run the heck away? That didn't seem to be an option of run the heck away. Because if I can not fight him, that would be better. Yeah. That makes sense. Oh, he just ducked. He's owning me. He ducked my spear. Yeah, that might be a helpful one, because with, you know, try 50 is kind of enough tries on this. Ow. But we'll figure it out. Like, this guy is clearly someone important, even though he's wearing, like, wooden armor. Which suggests, you know, in some way, that says, in a, like, Norse context, this kind of wooden armor suggests a kind of outlawry or kind of outcast, for lack of a better term, kind of barbarian culture, which, but in something like, what is it? I'm just whiffing all of the blocks. We're getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit easier, a little bit farther. We'll figure it out eventually. I thought I actually ducked that one. Hey, I did duck that one. Okay. Anyway, in Urvar Oddsaga, the saga of Ero Otter, there's a scene where he kind of goes crazy for a little while and goes just... Gotta stop doing that. I know better. Anyway, there's a scene where he goes crazy for a while and actually, I got him! Oh, thank God. Anyway, when he goes crazy, his solution is to, basically hide out... Oh, I actually wanted to go back. Good, herbs. Nom those herbs, because I am bleeding. One of the... spear's broken. Rip. Anyway, the, to indicate his kind of newly outlawed status, one of the things he does is he dresses up in armor made out of tree bark. And he actually stays in that disguise under a false name for quite a long time, wearing his normal, extremely wealthy, extreme clothes, because he's a great, successful war leader. So... Actually, I wonder if that spear didn't break. Anyway, he just deals, sort of... it did shatter. Rip. Anyway, yeah, he takes a false name and is covered in tree bark, and it actually reminds me of that guy and that fight, where, you know, he doesn't become less talented by that, he's just concealing himself and his kind of reality, in that particular context, that particular disguise, and ends up actually at one of his enemies' courts, and it takes until during a fight or a bragging contest and drinking contest, he gets a little bit too drunk and then reveals his golden ring that his nobility ends up being visible. Nailed it. So, yeah, too late on that. That's okay. We'll deal with whatever that problem is whenever it happens. Like, you can't... Exactly. Like, he's got one more spear. Somewhere. Up here. Like, he's got one more spear he can throw at me, so if he throws it at me, then I can pick it up and throw it back at him. Problem solving. Or something. I am bleeding more, so we'll eat that again. Which is probably enough to make me puke. Hey, it's enough to make me puke. I can make it that. Nope, that's torch. I don't need the torch. I can make this. So. Try the notched bone. Okay. But yes, I did make a dagger. Which is a solution. And, you know, actually, this kind of, using bones to make knives here, feels, kind of Viking Age. It also, where, you know, like, needles and stuff were made out of bone. But also feels mostly, like, pre-Viking Age. As, like, especially relevant point of comparison. Like, in the Vendel period and even earlier, it is not surprising to see bones, even... Oh. A sword. Oh, the notched bone actually does stuff. Okay. Alternatively, you know... Wait, what? Do you wanna run that one by me again? Not what I was expecting. Ah, blocked the wrong way. Well, that's not my ideal situation. I'll be great at fighting this guy in a moment. I'm already getting a lot closer. Nah. Low. Down. And stab him. Aw, I thought I actually had him this time. Well... You know, this is just trying again on your idea, on your warning of don't throw away my spear. This is just an improvement on that warning to not throw away my spear. Aw. Jeez, I really need to get that first block off a little bit better, in order if I want to beat this guy. Oh well. Nothing for it. Ah, did the same thing. Ideally, yeah, we're seeing how well that is going right now. Yeah, I mean that's on me. I accidentally drank it earlier, when. So, you know, I'm bleeding again, but we do what we can. But you said, like, the notched bone removes bleeding. So. Oh. So let's actually try that, here. Oh, so it does, like, the same thing, it's like an infinite herb. Okay. That's fine. I can super herb, no problem. I have no herbs right now, but we will keep working. Yeah. Yeah, no big deal. It happens. We move on. It only took me like 6 times this to to beat him this time instead of 50, so progress. But yeah, I accidentally drank my tonic, so that's on me. But this time, you know, I can... Oh, that makes sense. Yep. But I currently have 0 herbs, so, this'll be a fun time. Small victories, exactly. I also still have, like, no... Oh, crap, I just threw my spear for no discernible reason. I'm super gonna die here in a moment, because I took a hit there, because the fight went out into a totally useless spot, but, that's okay. I made it all the way through that whole fight, not a single spear, and I just kind of fling it randomly. Because I can. Who needs a spear? Spears are overrated. Spears are not overrated. Spears are really good. Spears are like the best weapon in the Middle Ages, bar none. So, you know, hopefully this time there's less getting randomly smushed. Hopefully less getting smushed by rocks, hopefully less bleeding to death. So, that'd be fun. No, I need to like that. Not that it truly helps because there's so little to see here, but that's okay. Rock dust. Not getting smushed by rocks. Yeah, please don't die now. We're so close. We are so close. Just don't bleed out and we'll be okay. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna be okay, but we'll pretend we'll be okay. Or at least that we don't have to do 2 hard back-to-back fights in a row. Ah, there I died. Oh no, I'm not dead yet. I'm just close to it. Huzzah! Progress. Bye. Yeah, that's not good. Let me guess, all the way back? All the way back. This is a brutal final area, you know, I won't deny. Ah, that's just death. This is absolutely brutal. Especially with how bad I am at the combat. Hey, look at that, I'm bleeding again. I'll just die this time. Exactly. I think this is absolutely a good place. I will not spoil the ending of your game. We'll phrase it that way. This is definitely not a matter of I am bad at this. It is instead that we're doing this for the sake of not spoiling the ending. So if you guys have enjoyed this VOD, make sure you go buy this game. It came out today, which, you know, I've got to say, unlucky timing to come out on the same day as Cyberpunk, but they kept delaying that, so that's on them. So, and to everyone who kind of stuck around and watched, I super appreciate it. I'll be playing more Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Saturday for a very kind of different Viking game. One that purports to be a lot more historical, but honestly is as much a fantasy as this one is, and in some ways a much less fun one. And yeah, thank you, Steven, for coming in and being interested. I am super... This is super cool. I really like this game, and it's cool that you guys managed to make this. And really do such a good job with doing fantasy, a lot of the fantasy tropes, playing them straight, but also doing them in a nice, thoughtful way. I like to see it, so I really enjoyed this. So, and, you know, weren't you... So I hope you have a good rest of your night, and to everyone watching this, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to the VOD on YouTube or follow here on Twitch to be notified when I go live with other things. And yeah, this weekend, 11 AM Central Time, is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, trying to finish off the tutorial area, because that game is very long and there's a lot of Norway to talk about. But yeah, I'll see everyone then, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Bye!